What up, fam? It's your favorite uncle, your favorite cousin, your favorite nephew, your favorite son, your favorite father, your best friend's best friend. It's me, Dr. Larry, and welcome to Living For You, the YouTube channel. This is a safe space. It is a positive place in which we come together, we grow together, we learn, we educate each other, and we just convene and, mix it up as we discuss and grow in this journey that we're all on, which is the journey of life. So this is one of the best places you can be out here up on these internet streets. For those of you who are loyal, faithful family, I always shout you out first because you've been rocking since the very beginning. And I love and I appreciate and I honor you, and I send nothing but blessings, and everything that you're visioning and wanting to happen in life, I'm sending forward the power of the universe to see, so that you can see that come to fruition. To those of you who watch from the periphery, who watch the videos, who tune in, who come, why aren't you joined yet? Why haven't you joined the channel yet? Why haven't you subscribed? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the family. You've been watching, so you know it's a great family. So go ahead and join this family and convene and comment and share and like the videos. Everybody should like the videos, but you can share, you can leave comments, you can ask questions, all types of things right below the video. So go ahead and indulge that. To those of you who have never seen me before in your entire life, I am Dr. Larry Smith. I am a certified life and spiritual coach. I do this YouTube channel called Living For You, where we do coaching, we do educational stuff, we do historical stuff, we do entertainment, and all sorts of other things there. My business is Live For You Coaching, which is a life coaching and spiritual coaching firm. You can find out more about that at www.liveforyoucoaching.com. That is www.liveforyoucoaching.com. And out there are so many things, from courses, free stuff, blog posts, you name it. There's a lot of things. You can even set up a session if you want a coaching session with me one-on-one. You can even set up a session there and we can get that kicked off. If you want to follow me on social media, I post all the time, all kinds of content, and you can find that at Dr. Larry Smith on both Instagram and on Facebook. That's Dr. Larry Smith on both Facebook and on Instagram. So as you guys know, who've been watching, been following, you know that this year I made one of my commitments to myself. I don't like to say resolutions because to me, resolutions are just tossing things out of air into air, expecting an outcome, where I feel a commitment is more something I plan and I plot and it's more targeted. So I've made quite a few commitments that I intend to see to fruition this year in 2022, something new for 2022. One of those commitments is to read a book, one whole book every month. For most of us, that's not a lot, but hopefully you guys are working with me and you're reading a book a month and you're gaining new knowledge, or you're enhancing old knowledge, whatever the case may be. You're taking some time out of your day to read. I actually have it scheduled in my calendar, in my schedule of days, to read at least 30 minutes to an hour a day of a book. So I'm reading one book per month. And if you guys have been watching, you guys know that the book that I read this month is Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. Now mind you, I have read this book before. I've read it probably 2 or 3 times before, back early on when it first was hot, like in 2000s when it was popular and people were quoting from it and all this stuff. And then I read it again somewhere in the middle between then and now. And then of course, I read it for the month of January, and I completed it actually yesterday. So I have read through the book again. I highlighted notes. I actually read it on my Kindle book reader, which is kind of cool. It's an Amazon product, and there's no endorsement here, but it's it's a Kindle reader, so it just makes it easy for me to pick it up and to swipe through the pages and to highlight things and to screenshot things, whatever I need to. It helps really for ease of read, and if I want to, it'll read the book to me. So that's also a good thing too. If I just want to listen to it while I'm in the car, it's small enough to tote in the car and all kinds of things. I highly recommend you get you a little reader and you buy your books via Kindle or something like that, because it makes it easier. But anyway, I read it and went through the book again and read and I highlighted things. And so this part is when I come to the channel and I do kind of a book review and I toss in some of my own stuff. So I'm going to do that with every book I read. So if you guys want to know, I'll let you know what book I'm reading at the beginning of the month. And then I will do these book reports, or this book report at the end of the month, kind of just a synopsis of the book. But I highly recommend that everybody watching go out and get, whether it's renting or whether it's buying, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I could be saying the name wrong, but you guys know the book I'm talking about. The purple book with yellow letters that I'm talking about. First of all, I think his story as how he come to his information is a very interesting story. He grew up in a household with an educated dad who had earned a PhD, who was a college professor, hardworking individual. He refers to him as his poor dad, because compared to his friend's dad, who he adopted as his rich dad, his dad is kind of poor in comparison to this rich guy, who has a different perception about making money. And I think he was fortunate because he was able to get two perceptions as a child so that he can weigh the balances out between the two and take what's good from both and leave what's not so useful to him from the other. And it was kind of great. So what I got from the book overall, I would say, is that he took advice from both of his fathers, both of his dads, his rich dad and his poor dad, and they were different advice for different things. But where he turned to the most to understand money and to understand financial intelligence and literacy came from his rich dad. And it obviously was successful for him because he's been able to be successful and start businesses and make millions of dollars. And of course, he's sharing this information, this is why I say it's a great book, because it's very transparent, it's very direct, and it's a very easy read, in my opinion, for someone who just wants to get a kind of an introduction to financial literacy. The main, I think, drawing line, kind of the consensus of the book, or should I say the message that spoke the loudest to me in the book, was to pay yourself first. You know, many of us have jobs, and our jobs we go and we pay taxes to the federal government. We pay taxes to our states. We pay sales taxes. If we have property, we pay property taxes. We kind of pay taxes on everything. And a lot of times when you add up the taxes versus the amount of work you've done and the hours you spend at work, it doesn't always balance out. So his advice was, before any of that, pay yourself. And by that, he means putting things into your asset column. He labels it asset and liabilities column, and he has diagrams and everything in the book that are very useful. He said the whole goal, if you want to be rich, like my rich dad and like he is now, you have to continue to fill up things in your asset columns so that your assets begin to pay for your liabilities. And your liabilities are small compared to what your assets are. So you're able to retire early, to live in peace, knowing your stuff is paid, knowing you got income in. And the magic phrase that he also used in the book, you made your money work for you. Instead of you working the long hours, your money works for you, and you work less and you do way better than some of those people working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. So the main key of the book was you pay yourself first before anybody else. That's debt collectors, that's bill collectors, that's tax collectors, whatever. And then, of course, you make your money work for you. Your money should work harder than you. And I think that that's an important lesson. That was something that I had to kind of figure out on my own, because I didn't have a rich dad. I had a poor dad. And then when mom got remarried, I had another poor dad, and then another poor dad. So I never had the direct lessons to be able to go out and figure this stuff out, be taught by somebody who's mastered financial literacy. So I had to learn the hard way. And books like this actually helped me to learn somewhat, even though when I first read the book, I didn't implement everything either. I had to bump my head a few more times to learn certain lessons. Nevertheless, it is important that you pay yourself first. It's important that you prepare yourself for your future. Because if you're a person who's going to work all your life till you're 60 years old, you don't want to have at the last minute to be struggling and wondering how you're going to take care of yourself and how you're going to pay your bills and where is this going to come from, and not have any assets. And believe it or not, the book mentions this, but statistically it's out there, is very few people have assets to rely on. In the United States, that number is small. And when you start going to certain communities, for example, like in the Black community and other communities, it's even less. It is even less. And so therefore the net worths aren't high, and many people are living from day in to day out to pay bills, to go to work, and then God forbid something catastrophic happens in their life that alters things, and you have a situation. This is so Kiyosaki in the book tries to get people to understand that building up those assets, whether it's through stock trading, real estate, yada yada yada, and so much other things, is a very important thing to do. One of my favorite aspects of the book, and you guys know I'm like this, is the aspect that one of the greatest assets you can give yourself is education, is learning something. It's not necessarily sitting into a college class. It could be simply just going online, taking a course, or going somewhere to a seminar, paying a little bit of money to go to a seminar. I say sites like Udemy, I probably said that wrong, but it's UDMY. That is a very good site for taking courses. I have courses out there on African American history and other things, but that can be purchased. But if you're looking for a nice cheap course on financial literacy, MBA, I know one course that I took was an MBA in one course, and a financial planning, different courses. You can go, and they're cheap, like $9, $12. You can take a course from somebody who is an expert in that field, and you can learn things. And this is the greatest thing that we have, is access to the internet and access to the World Wide Web of information that we weren't taught as kids, or that we weren't given in schools, whether it was middle school, elementary school, high school. So this is a great resource. So always doing things in your mind to strengthen your knowledge on stuff, to give yourself options. A lot of people, when I tell them, oh yes, I have a insurance license, health and life insurance license, I have a real estate license, I'm certified life coach, I have degrees, I have all these things, people are like, what are you doing? And in my brain, I'm doing what I want to do, but I'm also giving myself options, giving myself alternative ways to just one way to make a buck. So I don't have to just rely with all my eggs in one basket. I can diversify and do different things. I have a t-shirt company, and this goes on and on of things I try to do that brings me some sort of revenue. And what I do with most of that revenue is I try to build into my asset columns, because my goal is one day to have my assets so high that they pay for everything. And I want to do that by the time I'm 50, right? Where my assets are 6 times what my income is now, and they're making money off themselves, so that if I don't want to work or I can't work, my money's still working and I'm still able to live the same standard or better as I'm living now, with ease, convenience, and not stressing about money. Because the book makes it clear is that money is an idea, money is a concept, money can be made easily. And we're so taught growing up several bad things about money. First, if you grew up in religious households, specifically Christian households, you were taught that the love of money was evil. You were taught that you shouldn't chase money, you shouldn't desire money, you should just desire the bare minimum of what it needs to survive. But it's okay to appreciate money. You can't get much done in society without money. So you have to have some level of appreciation and respect for it. And I believe personally, we have to go and take ourselves from beneath money and become the leader of money. You should never let money be your master, but you should be a master of your money. I'm going to repeat that. You should never let money be your master, your Lord, your King, your God, but you should actually be the master of your money. And you should tell it what to do. You know, a lot of people have a different conception about that. A lot of people allow their money to tell them what they can do and what they will do. If you want to take a trip, well, your money have to tell you you can take a trip. You want to start a business, well, your money have to tell you you can start a business. You want to buy something nice for you, like a nice pair of clothes, a nice outfit, or you want to enjoy a birthday party, or you want to just do something nice for yourself. But if your money is telling you you can't, we typically don't. But the idea of Rich Dad Poor Dad is that your money is not telling you, you're telling your money. So if you're in a situation in which money is not there, then you have to figure out, okay, the answer is I can't do it because the money out there is not there. The answer is, how do I find a way what can I do to create the money that I need to get done what I want to get done? So you're mastering the money. You're lording over the money and not the other way around. And once you get that concept that it really is simple, especially nowadays, this book was written in 2009, 2000, and so much has changed, and the version that I read has been updated for the most modern time, which I think it was like 2018 or so. And so it talks about how things are changing. You guys know that my career, I've been an educator, I've been a teacher, and I know teachers are going to always be around. But what I also know from my 20 years experience in the classroom is that wealth building is not something I would be able to do as a teacher. And while I'm passionate about it, I have to be able to do what I'm passionate about, which is still teach. But at the other time, on the other flip side, I do it to where it brings me the amount of money to fill my asset column up so that I eventually can have my assets paying for everything I need and want. And be comfortable in that. So I have to make decisions. So I went and got the real estate license. I went and got the insurance license. I do other things to try to build wealth, to build wealth. And I'm okay with that. I don't shy away from that. When people ask about that, I tell them this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. Because I don't have a bad conception of money. I do not believe in chasing money. Because I had to get out of that. I was there at one point to where I was chasing money and I was hoping for the big payout one day. And I realized that life doesn't work that way. But what I can do is I can put myself into a position to where I can make money when I need money, or have access to capital when I need capital. So the book is great. There's many little tidbits that you can take in there, how, working a job all the time is not necessarily the best. It's okay if that's where your ambitions are, but for those who have ambitions higher, you might want to look in other directions. He mentioned his vehicles for wealth was real estate and stocks, which I like a lot. And you guys know I read the charts and I do trading and investing in different things, because I think that is important, and that is something that can have a turnaround. Even if it doesn't seem like it in the interim, it can have a turnaround pretty quickly. You can invest in something today, and by the end of the year, you're a millionaire. You never know. And what I like at the crux of the book is the idea of taking risk. The idea of not being afraid to make the mistakes. I think, to me, this was a huge point in the book. The idea that your mistakes are lessons, and that those who are truly wealthy and those who are truly successful aren't afraid of failures. I can acknowledge that. I have failed a lot at a lot of things, but then I try something else. Or I go back and try what I did with a new lens on it and try something else. I don't ever just say, just because I failed, that's the end of the story. No, for me, I'm learning the lessons from the failures. I can use specifically the day trading. Sometimes you lose trades, but you go back and you see what you did and what you could have done for things to go into your favor. So the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, is a great book. It's a whole series of books. He has like a book on the quadrants that he has, that talks about business owners, investors, employees, and different things. That's a pretty good book. I might read it later on. He also has the Cash Flow Game, which teaches kids and adults about managing money and financial literacy. That's something great to look out for and to look into. So just pick up the book. If you haven't read it, I think it'd be great. He mentions other materials like The Richest Man in Babylon and As a Man Thinketh in there as well. So there's other little references to other things that may possibly be good potential reading material for you. And there's so many life lessons and life prescriptions as it relates to financial literacy in Rich Dad Poor Dad that I think it's a great book. I enjoyed reading it again. And of course, I know at some point one day I'm going to read it again, because it's never information that you can just read once. You read it again and again so that it becomes part of your habits. And when it becomes part of your habits, you start making good financial decisions. So that's my book report on Rich Dad Poor Dad. It was a good read. Next month, I think I'm going to read The Erroneous Zones, which is by Wayne Dyer. I haven't decided just yet, but I would definitely let you all know which book that I am reading so that you can read along. So when we do these recaps and these book reports at the end of the month, you guys are right on it. Anyway, as I always say, I love you, love you, love you with the highest love. Remember to subscribe, like the videos, share the videos if you want to, and leave comments. Go out and watch other videos, share those videos, like those videos. Let's get this channel to 1 million. You know we on our way. We're going to get there. We're growing every day, and I am so thankful. I love you all. As I always say, I will see you in the next video.